Okay, I did not want to make this video, but here we are. I hate Blue Lock.
Who the starts a conversation like that? I just sat down.
Okay, I know that's a bad way to start a video, but still, I should probably rephrase my statement before that one guy who commented on my Blue Lock shot tries to assassinate me. Okay, Blue Lock is a great anime, but it's horrible if you've ever watched at least 3 minutes of a soccer match. This is Casually Glazed, and yeah, today I'm talking about my really beautiful love-hate relationship with Blue Lock. Look, I thoroughly love season 1 of Blue Lock. It was great. 10, 11 out of 10. Great animation, great story. I was hooked from the second it started, to be honest. I loved it. And season 2 yeah, is something. Hopefully they stop showing us the most overly animated slideshow and give us an actual anime. Because yeah, that's something. I'll talk about that a bit later. But let's start at the starting point. Because I'm a soccer fan. I'm someone who religiously watches soccer. I watch the every single top 5 league. I watch the South African Soccer League. I watch the La Liga. I watch Premier League. I'm a Tottenham fan. That's not talk about my top 5 decisions, by the way. Anyway, Blue Lock, I really love it. I love the manga and I love the anime. Like, I started the Blue Lock manga early 2021 before the actual anime was announced. So when the anime got out, I was already a Blue Lock fan, by the way, and it came out right during the World Cup. So I was watching it right side by side with the World Cup. So I was watching peak and peak. I was watching probably one of the best soccer anime ever made and the best World Cup of all time. Congrats to my goal. But whilst watching it, like, there was something in my ear that kept telling me this can't be the same spot. Like, Blue Lock. World Cup.
Lionel Messi.
World Cup. Blue Lock. There is no way in God's green earth this is the same spot. And this has nothing to do with the whole football soccer debates Americans and British people like to have, because I'm South African and it's called soccer here and I still call it football because 90% of my football knowledge comes from a very dark place called football Twitter. Yes, I'm looking at you, United Trey. And this is about the simple fact that Blue Lock doesn't feel like soccer. It doesn't feel like a sports anime at all. Like, when I'm watching Blue Lock, it doesn't feel like I'm watching an anime about soccer. It feels like I'm watching a shonen anime where soccer is like something like it's like a plot device. Don't know how to use it. And if I had to describe Blue Lock in my own words, it would be mentally disturbed teenagers try to analyze each other with a football. And to be fair, if I were to describe football itself, I would probably say, oh yeah, 22 mentally disturbed adults chase around the football for 90 minutes. So there is not much difference, but still doesn't feel the same. Like, doesn't feel the same way Haikyuu feels with volleyball. If you've ever watched volleyball and watched Haikyuu, you're 100% sure that it feels the exact same way, bruh. Like, I've watched the Indonesian women's team facing off against some other women's team. By the way, yeah, that's a great team. Great team. You know it's the same sport just by watching them. The same thing with Korokono basketball or slam dunk with basketball. They feel like I'm watching an actual basketball match. To be fair, I've only watched like 4 basketball matches in my entire life. That is not a real sport in my opinion. But even with actual football anime, like I'm someone who's watched actual football anime more times. I've watched Awashi, Giant Killing, which is probably my favorite soccer anime, and it feels like I'm watching football, even with stuff that's not actually anime, like GGO football and Super Strikers. Super Strikers, by the way. And Super Strikers, they feel like you are watching football. Like, even if they're not anime or even traditional football, they still feel more like football than whatever's happening in Blue Lock. Football feels like second fiddle to whatever Isage is doing. It's as if the main characters are in a shonen fight and just that football is just like the main weapon or something. Like it's like their traditional weapon which they use to activate their powers or something. Like, how can you actually watch this video of Lionel Messi and think that it's exactly the same sport as Blue Lock?
Per Xavi, assistència de Xavi, més cap a la dreta per Messi, Messi, immens Messi, encara 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 Messi, gol, 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 gol.
This is the part where I talk about season 2. Shit. Season 2 is something, okay? Like, I like the plot point of season 2 going from like the final 30 something towards like the under 20 World Cup match, the under 20 match, which is great. From what I've read from the manga, I'm really looking forward to the under 20 match. But that's the exact point. Like, if the under 20 match is well animated and is all about an inclusive movement, it's gonna be great. It's gonna feel like a football match, but it's still gonna gloss over the reason why I hate Blue Lock. Blue Lock is moments. It's about highlights. It's as if the author and everyone involved in the making and animation of Blue Lock simply went on YouTube and watched like Messi 2020 highlights or Ronaldo highlights of Blue Lock and decided, yeah, this is how I'm gonna animate this shit. Because if you've ever watched a real football match, you realize that highlights are like 1% of whatever's happening in football. Like, seriously. And to illustrate this, whenever Pacha's dribbling, I always be like, okay, that looks like it's okay, it's dribbling. But it's not the same thing as when you see Neymar or when you see Messi dribbling through a 20 man on his own and scoring a goal. It just doesn't feel the same way because it glosses over whatever the character is doing or whatever the angles are, and basically it's just Bachira doing 20 step overs and then crossing the ball or shooting the ball. That's not dribbling, that's just skill moves in the shot because they don't move. Bachira just does step over, that's the movement he does, and passes the ball. Just doesn't seem the same thing. Like, if you watch Neymar and Bachira side by side, you won't think they're doing the same thing. And do not get me started on fucking Nagi. Like, if everything Nagi does, right, is probably the coolest, some of the coolest things he could do. Like, Nagi's first touch is so beautiful, you swear he was doing some Bernardo Silva type shit. I'm serious. Because whenever Nagi does the skill moves, like catches a ball in the air and does a scissor kick, you'll be like, wow, that's so amazing. But then you realize that if he actually moved in a sing of like fluid movement and scored the goal in the same way, it would be 1,000 times more beautiful because I've seen Neymar do that shit 1,000 times and it's always been beautiful. I've seen Suarez do it and it's always been beautiful. But whenever Nagi does it, it looks cool but doesn't exactly give off the same factor. I honestly feel like everyone involved in Blue Lock should actually go and watch a Tottenham match and realize how bad decisions are made, because they made a fucking bad decision deciding to give us PNG Lock on season 2 which will basically show us how bad they actually are at watching football, like they've never watched. And my recommendation for them to watch Tottenham has nothing to do with the fact that I made a very bad decision when I was 12 years old and I can't change it, but they can still change season 2 of Blue Lock. Yeah, hopefully they fix whatever's going on with season 2. I really love the under 20 arc and they've been murdering it and
hyping. And this has been Casually Glazed. See you in the next video.